Ah, Konami. Wow, they were good in the 80s, weren't they? Well, alright, Nemesis was technically released in the 90s, but they were pretty great then too. Forget the self-destructive bridge burning that constitutes their current praxis, and be grateful for the fact that some of the most wonderful franchises of all time, certainly on Nintendo consoles, were given breath by the esteemed minds of Konami's old guard. Gradius is a series that certainly stands shoulder to shoulder with the other greats like Contra and Castlevania. Nemesis, largely based on Gradius on the NES, marks the first of Konami's iconic space shooters on the Game Boy, and it can proudly stand at the side of its bigger brothers, even outshining some of them. You probably already know the premise of this game. You control a spaceship with unlimited and upgradable weaponry against a baffling and ever more powerful army of antagonists, which, upon death, can drop icons to collect. The traditional set of power-ups are there: speed increases, ground-seeking missiles, a double shot, lasers, option, which generates up to 2 invulnerable orbs of light that mimic your movements and attacks, and shields, which allow you to take a few hits before dissipating. Every seasoned Gradius player has their own techniques on which power-ups to prioritize, but in the early stages there are so many drops to collect that you won't need to. Nevertheless, I find that you only need one speed boost. More than one can make movement a bit imprecise, in fact. After which, max out those ground missiles. There are lots of pesky enemies that live down there that are tough to hit without crashing into the scenery. Yeah, that happens here, I'm afraid. The static objects will kill you as much as the bad guys do at first. That's alright though, it instills precision in the player. After that's done, get those lasers going and get the 2 option orbs following you. Now all that's left is to get the shields up and play the dodge the drop game, where you keep the grayed out F box highlighted to reactivate your shields as soon as you lose them, while trying to avoid picking up any further drops, causing the meter to annoyingly cycle to the start. There are 2 game difficulties. In option 1, the enemies are often more like obstacles than aggressors, rarely firing at you. Most go down with 1 hit. No hitting the 5 stages is the order of the day here, and with a few tries you shouldn't have much problem at least getting to the last stage without losing a ship. If you do die on these later stages though, prepare to have your Vic Vipers handed to you. Your ship is gutted down to the bare bones, with little chance to get back to full strength. You can get to a certain point at full power without dying, only to lose all the lives you've accumulated because you can't reattain that strength. Shoot-'em-up veterans should be used to this, and know all too well the added pressure not to die that this creates. This is doubly pertinent if you try the harder difficulty. Get good in option 1, really good, because if you're sadistic enough to try option 2, you'll need to be. That secret level, hidden halfway through stage 2, will look like the City of Willows if you make it that far. If I have a notable problem with the game, it's that possibly the easy mode is too easy and the hard mode is just too hard. A middle setting would have been perfect for those who, like me, are by no means experts, but certainly not newcomers. After a left-right auto-scrolling level, complete with the traditional swarms of aliens, pericaryon-like cell things, and the good old Cheerio-spewing Moai heads, there's often a short endurance test before the boss fights. These cannot be beaten, but merely have to be survived. Towards the end of stage 1, 2 volcanoes erupt violently, spewing rocks about the place. There are others where enemies encroach from all sides, needing to be destroyed for a predetermined time period. After these come the huge bosses. These look amazing, often taking up the whole screen. There's nothing you haven't seen before in a Gradius title. The pulsating cores pinpoint where you need to strike at them. The detail in these massive sprites is really impressive, and the destruction animations demonstrated one of the earliest examples of the layering techniques that artists used to push the minimalist technology to its fullest. The backgrounds are richly detailed too, and there's also one of the earliest uses of parallax scrolling on the system. There can be tons of sprites on screen, but you don't get a great deal of flicker, an admirable achievement. A wide variety of sounds are utilised, with some great sci-fi explosions and laser blasts. That glorious music isn't forgotten, and could well be the best music on the system up to this point. Listen with headphones to hear some trippy stereophonics, and a lovely low end that dispelled the notion that the Game Boy's sound bank was nothing more than a tinny, annoying little bleep machine. The composition really is that good. It and the sound effects complement each other well, without one dominating the other. A really accomplished audible work. There wasn't exactly an abundance of games in this genre on the Game Boy, but its strength lies in the quality of the titles that did come out. While later reviews will determine if Nemesis is the best shoot-'em-up on the system, it's definitely the best up to where we are now, and indeed for a little while yet. Prime your trigger finger though. 1991 and 1992 were darn good years for what proved to be one of the Game Boy's strongest areas. What a time to be alive.